Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today I am going to do my August wrap up, which will be my Newts wrap up, and I am really proud to say that I passed the Newts that I needed to become a mind medic. So I got my diploma, I am now a mind medic. I'm very proud. I also managed to pass a couple of other exams that I didn't specifically need, so I'm really proud of myself. So in order to become a mind medic, I needed to get an outstanding in charms and defense against the dark arts, and then exceed expectations in muggle studies, potions, transfiguration. So I managed to complete those, which I'm really happy about. It was intense. I have been losing my literal mind this month. It's not been a great month. Mental health wise, it has been a terrible month. Reading wise, compared to a normal reading month, if you can call a normal reading month a normal reading month. And there are a lot of like graphic novels or short stories in here, which obviously count, and I'm really proud of myself for getting through them anyway. I do love short stories and graphic novels. I'm obsessed with graphic novels at the moment. But I usually read a lot more bigger, thicker books because I usually listen to a lot of books on audio. I've just not been in the mood. So the fact that I've got as far as I have is really good. I'm very proud of myself. I've passed no matter what, so I'm really happy. In total I have finished 24 books, so that's pretty good, and I've read 5,161 pages, so quite proud of myself. I'm glad I got over 5,000 pages. That's really good. So let's tell you what I read. Some of these won't make sense because I might have read an earlier volume for a different subject earlier on in the month. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna go through and tell you what exams I passed and what books I read to pass those exams. But what's happened is I'm going to tell you about the exams I needed to pass first, and then the exams that I didn't necessarily need to pass, I got through anyway. But some of the volumes, well, you'll see what I mean. I'm just not making any sense. So for charms, I needed to pick a book that's got a gorgeous cover. I ended up picking up Saga Volume 5. I love this cover. I think Lion Cat is absolutely stunning. This is a gorgeous cover. Can't tell you too much about this because obviously this is volume 5. We're already partway through the series, which I'm really enjoying so far. I believe there's only 9 volumes in this series, but I'm really looking forward to continuing. I'm having the best time. This is following 2 people who are of different breeds, and they end up in a relationship, have a baby, and obviously she is like a crossbreed of the 2, and it is illegal or whatever, and they're trying to hunt her down and kill her. There's bounty hunters, there are these TV head people. It's just completely batshit crazy, but it's absolutely amazing. I love it so much. It's so good. I do highly recommend it. I gave this, oh, the way I'm doing this is not going to end well. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Then for exceeding expectations, I needed to read a comic, graphic novel, manga, or a book under 150 pages. So I read Descender Volume 3. This is following this boy who is Tim 21, I think he is. And he is a young android. He is like a companion bot for kids. And in the first volume, he wakes up and for whatever reason, his whole planet is like died. The people on his planet have died. His mum has died. He thinks the young boy who, well, he didn't find him, but he's assumed he's died, and he gets kidnapped. Again, there are bounty hunters, there are officials that are wanting to look for him. There's something really like special about this boy, so we don't know. Obviously I'm continuing with the series. I really enjoyed this one because it actually did backstories of some of the other characters that are involved. So you got a backstory on where they were at the time when like Tim 21 sort of came to this planet and things like that. You get really good backstories, and it's really interesting to sort of see that. So I gave this Descender Volume 3, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. Then for an outstanding, I needed to read a paperback, so I cheated a little bit. I read The Wicked and the Divine Volume 1. This is a paperback. It could be a hardback, but it's not. It's a paperback. This is every 90 years there are 12 gods that return as young people. they're loved, they're hated, in 2 years they're all going to be dead again. So this cycle keeps happening, and this is sort of starting off that cycle. It's really good, you know. I really enjoyed this. I think my favourite character was probably Satan. She was amazing. I loved her. And also the young girl that's sort of going through all of this. Where is there a picture of her? Because I really enjoyed her. She was so cool. I don't know if there's a big picture of her, but she was amazing, and I'm really excited to carry on with this. I wasn't sure, you know, I was hesitant, but I'm really excited to carry on with it. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. Really excited to carry on with the series. I've got a really itchy eye, sorry. Yeah, looking forward to it. Defense Against the Dark Arts. For an acceptable, I needed to read a book that's Black Under the Dust Jacket. I went for Breakpoint by Ollie Ollerton. Ollie is one of the guys from SAS Who Dares Wins. I am obsessed with the show. The other guys are Ant Middleton, Jason Fox and Mark Billingham. And I have read both Jason and Ant's books. I'm very excited to get Ant's next book, which I think comes out actually in September, and Mark Billingham's book, which might be October. So I'm looking forward to those. Anyway, I listened to this on audio. It is Black Under the Dust Jacket. Listen to it on audio. I always listen to these ones on audio because they narrate them themselves. Really enjoyed it. As it turns out, Ollie's name is not Ollie, it's Matthew. He is Matthew Ollerton. He just goes by Ollie. And apparently now, by default, is Ollie Ollerton, which is weird. But yeah, it was really good. I ended up tabbing up some bits, going back through and tabbing up some bits in the end, because honestly it really hit home with things like not finding your calling and feeling like you're just not right for the job that you're doing. Things like that 100% like properly hit home for me. So it was really good advice. He's really great. Again, another way of just telling you about his story in the SAS or SBS, and his story of becoming a civvy again when he came out, what he decided to do, how he struggled with it, how he got through it all. Just amazing. These guys, 100%, just incredible. I adore them. 5 out of 5 stars. Didn't even need to check my book. I know what I've given it. Then for Exceeding Expectations, I had to read the first book that came to mind. For me, it was Vox. Now, I started this on audio, and I just really struggled to get into it. So I just did a random thing where I just decided, right, one day when I knew I wanted to read something, just random, out of the blue, I just picked something that I really wanted to read, and it ended up being Lock and Key Volume 4. I don't own it. I do have it on my Kindle, so I read it on my Kindle. Loved it. Love this series so much. So Lock and Key is a series, like it's like a horror series, and it's following this family. They live at this place where there are different keys that can do different things when they are put into a door and unlock the door. So for example, one of them, the young boy finds the key and he unlocks the door, and when he goes through the door he leaves his body. He becomes a ghost and he can come back into his own body. But there are things you've got to be careful of. There's this guy that's going around and he's trying to get all the keys together, and it's just crazy. It's really good. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. I just want to get to the end so I know what happens. Really enjoying it. This is by Joe Hill, and the illustrations are insane. So good. Highly recommend. I gave Lock and Key Volume 4, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I think I've given the whole series 5 out of 5 stars so far, to be honest. For an outstanding in Defense Against the Dark Arts, I had to read a book by an English author or set in England. I was going to read Harry Potter. I just did not get round to it. I apologise, Potter. I love you forever. I ended up picking up The Worst Witch by Jill Murphy. Now, what happened was I was charity shop hunting, and I saw this set of The Worst Witch box set, and I know Gav from Gav Hetherington is obsessed, well, not obsessed, but I know he really enjoys The Worst Witch, and I know some of them were on his wish list, so I picked it up. Double checked with him whether or not he would want the box set, because if he didn't I was just going to keep it for myself. Turned out that he needed to update his wish list and he already had a couple of them anyway, so I've kept them for myself. One night I was like, do you know what, just fancy something really easy, just really fun, something to get through, and honestly I enjoyed this so much to the point that I've actually picked the following 3 up as well, so which you'll see in this. This is written, Jill is obviously English, and I don't know if it's specifically set in England, but she's an English author, so we've gone for that one. That's what I've ended up going for. I gave this what did I give this? The Worst Witch. 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. So much fun. So cute for a middle grade. Lots of fun. For Muggle Studies, for acceptable, I needed a cover that included a photo element. I went for The Leaving by Tara Altebrando. This is the photo element. It is a swing. This is following 6 5-year-olds who go missing. 11 years later, 6 5-year-olds go missing. 11 years later, 5 of them come back. That is so many numbers in one sentence. 6 5-year-olds go missing. 11 years later, 5 of them come back. Okay, so 1 of them doesn't come back. And the whole point is that the kids, they're obviously not necessarily kids anymore. They can't remember what's happened to them. They just find themselves in a playground and they've no idea how they got there. I think they have like a note telling them where to go to get back to their houses and stuff, and this is obviously trying to figure out what has happened to the kids, where have they been for the last 11 years, where is the kid that's missing, etc, etc. It's very, very good. You only follow 3 of the kids that have been missing. So you follow 2 of the kids, Lucas and Scarlett, and then Avery, who is Max's sister. Max is the boy that hasn't come back. So you've got 2 of the kids that went missing and then the sister of the boy who hasn't come back. It's very, very good. I do highly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed it. Was not expecting the ending whatsoever, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. Then for Exceeding Expectations, I needed to read a book set in our real world, so I read My Brother's Husband. This is obviously set in Tokyo. We are following Yachi, who is a single dad, and then we are following Mike, who is Yachi's brother's husband, obviously because of the title. Yachi is hesitant about meeting with Mike. Mike comes over to Tokyo to see the family. Obviously the brother has died, and he just wants to come and meet the family. The young girl, she's so adorable. Really, really enjoyed her. She will ask kids, you know, like she'll ask kids. No, she'll ask questions, you know, like kids ask. And she just ends up getting her dad to really think about some of the things he's saying and the way he's acting and things like that. It's just so good. Really, really adored it. This is a manga. It's very, very good, and I cannot wait to read the next one in the series. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was adorable. For Potions, for an acceptable, I read a friend's favourite book. So I read G at Book Roasts. I read one of her favourite books, and I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I listened to this on audio. It was very, very good. It has messed with my mind something rotten. There is a lot of there is a bit of time travel in this, but there's also I don't know, I can't spoil it. That will spoil it because it doesn't tell you that. So there's some time travel business goes on in this, some other stuff goes down, but it messes with your head for real. I think I'm gonna have to reread this at some point, but physically read it rather than listen to it on audio, which is how I listened to this first time. So I'm really, really, it was really, really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was very, very good. For Exceeding Expectations, I read You Have to Read a Book, A Cover in Your Hogwarts House Colour. So I read Giant Days Volume 1. This is both yellow and red. I'll show a picture here. This is a graphic novel that was kind of recommended to me on Twitter by a group of you, and I just thought the cover was perfect. This is kind of like a modern day situation for a group of 3 girls who are at university in the UK. So it's set in the UK. There's no magical element to it whatsoever. It's just 3 girls at university going through the standard university girly problems that you go through. Boys, drinking, messing about with drugs on occasion, not doing your college work properly, uni work properly, just the standard shit that girls go through. And it's really good. It's so funny. There's like, they're talking about Primark, they're talking about tea. It's just so British. It is amazing. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. I think, did I give it 4 or 5? I give it 4 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. And then for Transfiguration, for acceptable, read an LGBTQI plus rep book. So I read Heartstopper Volume 2. I love this. This is by Alice Oseman, and we are following Nick and Charlie, who are best friends. Nick knows Charlie's gay, and Charlie is sure that Nick isn't. and we're just following this situation. It is adorable, it is cute, it is light, it is fluffy, and my god, I love this. I cannot wait for Heartstopper Volume 2 to come out. I think it's March next year. I'm counting down the days. It's going to be so good. This is a graphic novel, but it's just adorable. Highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars I gave that, by the way. Transfiguration, Exceeding Expectations, not a first in the series. I read Saga Volume 4. So do you see what I mean about the fact that I've already mentioned Saga Volume 5? So I read Saga Volume 4. To be fair, those could have been interchanged, but I think the cover's prettier on Saga Volume 5. So Saga Volume 4, I've already mentioned this. I gave this Saga Volume 4, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was very good. And then this, why is this such a long wrap up? It's because I can't shut up. For Ancient Runes, I got an acceptable in Ancient Runes, so for that I had to read a book recommended by a friend. As I just mentioned, Giant Days was recommended to me by several people, so I read Giant Days Volume 2, which was really good. Again, I'll show a picture here, and I've just mentioned what that was about. I gave Giant Days Volume 2 3 out of 5 stars. It was good, but not as good as the first one. Again, it might pick up. I think it's just because it's, you know, real life, so you're just like, yeah, I know, I get it. Do you know what I mean? There's no like fantastical element to it, so it's just real life, but it is funny. It is good. I do enjoy it. It's good. For Arithmancy, I managed to get all the way up to outstanding. I'm very proud of myself. So for an acceptable, I needed to read a book that ended on an even numbered page. I read The Worst Witch Strikes Again, so this is the second in the Worst Witch series, and this ended on page 92. So it ended on an even numbered page. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Yes, I did. 4 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend. Then for Exceeding Expectations, I had to read a standalone. I read Nimona. I listened to this on audio. I was unsure because it is a graphic novel, but it was very good. It had a full cast. It was really good. Really enjoyed it. It's 4 out of 5 stars that I gave it. This is following a young girl called Nimona who she wants to be a villain. So she teams up with this villain somehow, and he is just, he's a villain with morals. So they're like, you love him, he's so good. And she just wants to do all this really villainy stuff, and he's like, well, I don't know, maybe that's just a bit too far. And he's just, it's so good. I do highly recommend it. Made me laugh. It was hilarious. I'm assuming that's staying as a standalone, but I don't know, we'll see. For now it's a standalone, so that's what I've gone with. For Outstanding, I had to read a book longer than 350 pages. So I read Wicked Fox by Cacho. This came in July's, Fairy Loot's July box, and I didn't have massively high expectations because for June we had Sorcery of Thorns and I really didn't enjoy it, and I had huge expectations for that. So trying to keep my expectations low at the moment for these the books that come in boxes, because to be fair, just for any book, I'm trying to keep my expectations low because I hate being let down. So Sorcery of Thorns, really, I was so hyped for it, and it just couldn't connect. But The Wicked Fox, I was excited about it. It's a gorgeous looking book. We'll look at the sprayed edges, it's beautiful. I was excited at the thought of it. I haven't read about Gumiho before, about foxes and things like that, so I was pretty excited, but my expectations were not high. However, I really enjoyed this. It was very good. I do hope they do another one, but I don't know if it is part of a series. So I gave this, what did I give it? It's got 420 pages, by the way. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was so good. Highly recommend. For Astronomy, I got up to Exceeding Expectations. So I had to, for an acceptable, I had to read a book with the moon on the cover or in the title. I read Mooncakes. I will show a picture of it here. Volume 1. For about a week, couldn't stop thinking about this. Anything else I picked up, I thought it was Mooncakes, and it wasn't. It was a real struggle. I loved it so much. It was gorgeous. Absolutely adored it. I think did I give it 5 out of 5 stars? Yes, I did. I adored it so much. It was amazing. This follows this girl who is a witch. She's got 2 grandmothers who are also witches, and they run a store, like a herbs shop for witches. They sell spells and things like that. And this girl she has a friend who they have the hots for each other essentially. There is LGBTQ plus rep in here, and her friend is I think she's she's a wolf. I'm pretty sure she's a werewolf. I can't remember though. And some shit goes down, some witchy shit goes down, and it's just really, really good. Highly recommend it. I loved it so much. Oh, it was adorable. So cute. Definitely gonna have to buy it, like physically buy it. It was so good. Loved it. It's not come out yet. For Exceeding Expectations, I had to read a book with Night in the title. I read 30 Days of Night. Again, don't own it. I'll show a picture of the cover here. I really enjoyed the film for this. I think it's got Ashton Kutcher in it, if I remember correctly. But I really enjoyed the film. I don't usually do horror, but I don't mind things like dystopian, vampire-ish kind of things, apocalyptic things. So it wasn't too bad, but the graphic novel for this, I wasn't a big fan of the artwork. It was not great, to be fair. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't brilliant, but it was fine. It got me an Exceeding Expectations in astronomy, so that's great. Then I got up to Exceeding Expectations in Care of Magical Creatures. So for an acceptable, I needed to read a book that with a title that starts with an A. I read And Then You Were Gone. This was a Kindle book that I had, a NetGalley book, sorry, that I had on eArc, but I listened to it on audio. My library has the audio because it's come out now. I really enjoyed this. This followed a couple who were out on a boat. Her other half goes missing. She's asleep on the boat. When she wakes up, he's not there, and she's no clue what happened to him. Alas, the story goes on. I don't want to spoil it. It was really, really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Do recommend. It was good. For Exceeding Expectations, read a book under 300 pages. I decided to read the graphic novel of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, illustrated by Fred Fordham. This is not the full story, I don't think, but I just really, really enjoyed the graphic novel style of it. I think it really helped me get through it, and I think now that I've read this, I will be able to get through the book a lot easier. I still haven't watched the film yet. I do want to do that, but this was absolutely gorgeous. The art style is beautiful, and I do highly recommend it. I've shown it to my mum. She was like, oh, I might want to read that at some point. Very, very good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. For divination, I got an acceptable, so read a white book. I read Descender Volume 2, so obviously I've already mentioned Descender Volume 3, but I read Descender Volume 2 for divination, and then read Descender Volume 3 for charms. It's just the order I read them in. There's no massive thing about it. I gave Descender Volume 2 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. Then for herbology, I got up to acceptable, listened to an audiobook. I ended up listening to Spooksville The Secret Path. This is the first in the Spooksville series. Don't know how many they are, but there's quite a few of them on there. They're only short, they're like 2 hours long, and it was really, really cute. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. Followed a young boy who moved into a new town, and he ended up making friends with a young girl, and an older guy I think they were hanging out with as well, and there's some magical shit goes down. It's just a spooky town. It's really, really spooky. It was really, really good. I might try and save some of them for like around Halloween time and just listen to a few more. They were really good. Very easy to get through. Really enjoyed it. I gave Spooksville 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. Really enjoyed it. And then for History of Magic, I got up to Exceeding Expectations. So for acceptable was to read a fantasy. I read A Bad Spell for the Worst Witch, which is the 3rd in the series. Again, really, really enjoyed it. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Just really enjoying those books. They're so easy to get through. And then for Exceeding Expectations, a book that includes a map, I read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. This is the novella, the novella that comes with the ACOTAR series. This follows on straight from A Court of Wings and Ruin. And I gave this... Where is my rating? I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. So I think I gave ACOTAR 4, A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin 5, and then I've given this one 4. I can't wait for the next one in the series to come out, to be fair. This was kind of a little bit pointless. Not a great deal happened. There was a lot of sex in it, to be fair. That's almost basically what happened. But it was just nice to kind of be back in this world again. Although, to be fair, it was probably nice for those people that have read the books as they've come out, whereas I just binged read all of the ACOTAR series in one go and then going straight into this, which I probably could have just done with leaving until just before the next ACOTAR book comes out, if that makes sense. But I was just too excited. I wanted to pick it up, so what can I say? But I give it 4 out of 5 stars because I just love being in their world, and I love Feyre and I love Rhysand and I just adore them. They're so cute. So yes, I read 24 books. I don't know how many I gave what stars. I gave quite a few 5 stars, to be fair. 7 5-star books. $15 4 stars. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. Can't complain. And then 2 3-star books. So yeah, fairly good reading month, to be fair. I think I did all right. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these. I want to know what your thoughts are. Let's have a discussion, let's chat and see what you thought. I hope you did well on your newts. Congratulations to everybody that got through and got their diplomas in the end and got the jobs that they wanted. Very, very proud of you, and we shall see you next year, unless G decides to do, like, you know, a little something beforehand to get us a bit more extra credit like she did last year in December. So we'll see, fingers crossed. But I know she's busy, so absolutely no pressure, G. If we are not doing something like that, I shall see you in, well, I'll see you obviously in my next video. Well, I won't see you, you'll see me in my next video, but I'll see you around in my next video. But if not, and you're just around for the newts and you're just watching my video for the newts, that's totally fine. We shall see you for the owls in April. I'm very excited. I was already wishing my life away. It's not even Christmas yet, but I'm excited. I just really enjoy doing these readathons because G just makes them so much more fun. She's really, really good. She does an amazing job. I'm so proud of her. She's done amazing. Absolutely love her. So yes, I hope you've all done well, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.